I'm Chris Cunningham. You can say hi, Chris, just like Dennis if you want. I'm going to talk about today something you've never heard about. I'm going to talk about two letters that have not been talked about at all in the last 48 hours. AI. I'm just kidding. Look, of course I'm going to talk about AI, but not the way you think I am. Because everyone thinks they know AI. Everyone is saying, hey, it's here to kill your job. It's here to do everything. AI is here, just like Joe said earlier, AI is here to save your time. AI is here to make you better in business. That is what AI is all about. And the reason why I'm speaking to you here today is, yes, I've done some cool things. I have a company that's doing really well. I'd love for y'all to check it out. ClickUp, it is free if you ever need. But what I'm really here today is to talk about how you need to get in front of people, how you need to get new clients, how you need to get your marketing on autopilot. Because at the end of the day, like they talked about, you need to be getting more clients. You need to be scaling. And that's something we learned early on. So you see where I'm at right now, right? The last 4 years have been great. The last 4 or 5 years of ClickUp have been amazing. But what you do not see is the last 14 years of my career. The first years were not so good. The years we were almost broke. It was an entire roller coaster. And that's what I want to walk you through. I want to show you the chaos that I've been through to get to where I am today, because I need to change how you think. Before you're ready to use AI, before you're ready to dive in and change your business, you need to understand how to compete. Because when you level up, you're going to go after giants, right? So I'm going to take you through my little story. When I graduated college at Virginia Tech, Virginia here as well, when I graduated Virginia Tech, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea, but I knew I could talk. I knew I could sell. So I jumped right into sales. I went to Cvent. Cvent was maybe a 100-person company at the time. And when I joined, every day I woke up, I was driving from Baltimore into DC. And then that drive, I got up earlier than everybody. I showed up and I kept working hard. It was tough, but I knew Cvent was going to grow. And when I took this job, I had other great companies. I had Capital One, a lot of companies that I could have worked for, but I really felt something special about Cvent. I felt that I could get ahead. And when I got there, 100-person company, but it grew into a 1,000-person company within the first year. Then we took funding and then we went public, and it was a great start. It looked like my career was set. That was it, right? My parents were telling me, hey, just grow with the company, get a director title, get a VP title, life will be great. That wasn't the path I really wanted, though. That just seemed a little boring. It seemed a little too safe. And I don't know of any stories I really read that really excited me that took the safe route. So I didn't take the safe route. I instead told my family, hey, no, actually, I'm just going to leave this company, and I'm going to go start a new company with my buddy from college. They thought I was crazy. I had my mom's calling me. She's putting my grandpa on the phone, who was a VP at Energizer. Like, Chris, this is not the move. Just stay at the company. It's safe, and move your way up. And I was like, I hear you. I really appreciate the opinion, but I don't know, man. I can go get one of these jobs any other time, right? I want to start my own thing. I want to build something like all of you here. That's why you're here. You want to build something, right? There's nothing more fun, and there's no better time than now. It's a little harder back then. So in 2015, I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I left DC. I left my big, comfy job, and I went to go start an agency with my friend Zeb. And this agency started off, doing pretty well. Quickly, he had already built a business. I was helping him on the side when I was at Cvent. We got to 100K a month, and then we got to 200K a month. And what we were doing was social media for other businesses. We were teaching people that you can get clients in social at a time before anyone realized it was important. Now you know it's important. You might not be using as much as you could be, but you know social media is important. You're on your phones a lot. Everyone is. We all are, right? That's where we can find people. So we started this agency, and we got to, I think we built it to 650K a month with only 8 employees. It was awesome. I was like 23, 24, living in Charlotte. I thought I'd made it again. Life seems great. I got all the money coming in. But then we decided we wanted something bigger. Our CEO had a near-death experience. And he's like, I don't want to just be these guys who help grow people on social media. I want to change the world. I want to really change the world. And at the time, we were ready to do that. We were going to build an app. And we were going to build a social media app because we had helped people grow on social. And we saw a lot of danger in social media, right? People are getting addicted to the likes. They're getting addicted to the followers. We wanted to save that. And so we built an app called Memory, because at the time, Snapchat was the hottest app out, but it had a fatal flaw to us. And this fatal flaw was that it would erase your memories in 7 seconds. That's a fatal flaw. I don't want that gone. I know the kids love Snapchat, but we didn't love that. We loved our memories. So we built this app called Memory. And we put all our money into it. We really thought this was our next big break, right? We put everything, we left the agency, we put the risk. And at that time, it started off looking great. I really thought like we were going to be the next Zuckerberg. I'm getting interviewed in papers. I'm feeling cool. Until one day, I wake up and I see that Snapchat has created a new part of their app, and it's called Memories. And it completely ripped us off, and we completely lost everything. Everything. And you know what that's like? Do you know what it's like to tell your family, your friends to wake up every day on your Facebook, on your Instagram, and say, hey, look, I'm building this app. I'm going to be successful. And then one day they all see you fail publicly. Everyone watches you fail. Probably one of the lower moments, but at the same time, it really lit a fire into me because I had nothing else to lose, right? So that was around 2016. We had just moved to Palo Alto because we were ready to be in Silicon Valley and to be the next Zuckerberg. So we went to where you go. And we had put all our money into this. And we had just rented a house because we couldn't afford office space. Office space at the time in Palo Alto was crazy. Palantir, this big company, had bought up everything. So we're living in this house, and everything we thought we were going to build, we just lost it. So now we had to really figure things out. Now we had to really figure out how to build systems, how to scale, and how to work hard. So what do we do? Rather than crying, rather than complaining about it, we just went to work. And what we had done is we had built this little tool for us. It was called Mission Control Center. And what Mission Control Center would do was basically, we didn't like project management. We didn't like that Asana would make you choose a board view or choose a list view. We didn't like that Jira was for developers, or for someone simple, they'd use Trello. We didn't like switching from tool to tool to tool to tool, so we built our own. And that was just for us internally. But we decided, let's go to market with it. We have nothing left to lose. We have nothing else to offer. We got to give this tool out. So luckily for us, we lived on the same street. Like, we rented this house. 4 of us are living in the house together. We live right down the street from Steve Jobs, right across from the CTO of Facebook, right across from the COO of Intel. So we had all these good resources, and they saw us move in, and they're like, who are you? Like, are you helping your grandparents move in? Like, no kids live here. You know, like, you're in Palo Alto in this nice street near Stanford. But we made it fit in, and we started inviting them over, right? We even, I think we had a party for a lot of their kids. We definitely inflated our numbers a little bit, made it look like we were bigger than we were, but we got their advice. We learned from them. We were insanely scrappy, and that's something that was very big for us. So we kept moving. That's 2017. We went an entire year with not one client, without any revenue, just watching cash burn. That's scary too, especially after you just failed. You just got slapped in the face with a failure from Snapchat. It's scary, right? But I think everything in business is supposed to be a little scary. And so we started doing what you're doing now. We went to conferences. We started learning. We started going and investing in ourselves, doing everything we could. And that is I'm glad you're doing that now. But then finally, something changed. I finally closed the first deal. And when I closed the first deal, I didn't even know how to take their payment. I didn't even know what the price was. I made it up on the spot. I think ClickUp's first price, I wish you would have bought from me then. I gave them like 3 seats for the year for like $17 a piece, right? I just made up the pricing. I had to run across the house and ask Zeb, hey, I need a way to take their pay. I have no idea how to even take this guy's credit card. What do we do, right? That's where things were back then. But I figured it out, took the payment, and then I started closing more. Because every day I was going for 50 no's. I just woke up, I picked up the phone, I was like, just give me 50 no's, because it got really tiring hearing no over and over and over, right? No one cared about ClickUp. All these other big tools were out there. But after hearing no and no and no, I remember I never got to 50 no's again after that first deal. Every time I tried to get to 50, someone else saw us. Someone else heard about us. Someone else liked how we were shipping. Someone else saw a social media video we put up. Then everything started to change. And that's when we raised a Series A at $35 million. We weren't going to take funding. We had no plan on taking funding. We wanted to build this ourselves. But at the time, when someone comes and offers you that much money, you take the money. It was David Sachs, co-founder of PayPal, and the All In podcast. So we took the money. And then the rest was history. A few months later, we raised $100 million because we spent the money so well, because we were so efficient. We were so scared all the time. Like, we were very safe with the money. So after 3 months, they called us back and they're like, what do you want to be worth? What do you want ClickUp, this company you made out of nowhere, what do you want it to be worth? And we said, the only thing we could think of, $1 billion. We didn't think it would really happen. We were like, yeah, 1 billion with a B. If you can get us that number, we'll raise again. Sure enough, they came back, to our surprise, and we were able to. We raised $100 million at a 1 billion evaluation. All of a sudden, we were like, wow, we actually built we didn't know this was going to happen that fast. We built a $1 billion company. And then from there, the rest was history. We raised a Series C, raised $450 million just 1 year later. So that is the story of ClickUp. And I tell you this, not for my story, because I want you to start changing how you think. I want to see what season you're in. Maybe you're in 2018, where I was at. Right? Maybe you have no clients. Maybe you have no revenue. I know how lonely that is. I know how scary that is. I know what it's like to wake up and feel like that. But there is definitely a light at the end of the tunnel, but you got to start moving. You got to start moving fast. You got to start moving different, and you got to start being ahead. So how? How are you going to do this? Think back to us, right? We were just 4 guys living in a house. There's 4 guys living in a house. I'm from Martinsville, Virginia. I'm not from some big city. It's one of the 4th poorest, I think, towns, according to Yahoo, in the world, right? No mall, no movie theater. We got a NASCAR speedway, if you like that. But that's about it. So I came from small beginnings, but I realized, look, we have no salary, we have no backers, we have no investors. Most of the companies we're going up against have billions of dollars. They have full media teams. They have full stack development teams. We were outsourcing as much as we could. I'm creating all the content myself, right? How did we go up and compete with them? I'm going to give you everything. I've tried to sum it up into 3 things. Obviously, I could go on for hours about this, but I'll give you the 3 things I think that really, really help that you can apply today. Number 1 sounds so simple, but when I tell you how we did it, you'll start seeing what it is for your business. Number 1 is be scrappy. I really need you to be scrappy every single day, right? You're competing every single day. This is just like war. This is just like basketball with Kobe Bryant. He got better because he took a lot of shots. Michael Jordan practiced all the time. You need to be scrappy. And I don't want you to worry about everything being perfect when you move. Just move, right? I'll give you an example. The first thing we did is I had no clients. I had no way of getting clients. So what we did was we took a step back and said, okay, I'm not just going to mass email like everyone else. We built a tool. We called it AppGator. We didn't even sell this tool. We just built it for us. What this tool would do was every single day, it would give me a list. And anytime someone gave a 2-star or a 1-star or any negative review of my competitors, I got a message and I can see their name. So anytime they were on Capterra or GitApp or any of these review sites and they left a bad review about my competitors, I'm on it. I'm all on it. I'm hitting them up and I'm saying, hey, look, I understand why you don't like Asana. I understand why you don't like Trello. We hate them too. That's why we built a tool, right? I hate them. I built a tool that's better. I want to show it to you. It's free. We don't have any money yet. I may as well give it to you free. I just need people to use this tool. And if you tell me what you don't like, if you tell me what you want, I will listen to you. We are not these big companies. I actually have an advantage. You can't ever get in touch with them. Email their customer service. They'll probably take them 4 days to get back. We are back the second you enter our site. You have our full attention, right? And so that allowed us to start getting more clients. That's how I closed the first client. He knew we weren't the biggest company. He knew we weren't ready. Perry Worth is still my friend today. I took him to a Packers game a year ago. I mean, this guy believed us before anyone did, but we were scrappy. We built this tool, and so I had a consistent lead flow. I'm reaching out every single day. It's me personally. No one else can copy that. Well, they can now because I just told it to you, so go copy that. The second thing we did was we were so obsessed with our competitors that we were looking at every Facebook group. We were looking at every message board, every Quora, every Reddit. There was nothing that happened in our space. There was nothing that happened to our competitors that we didn't know about. And so all of a sudden there's a tool called Productive. And Productive decided they were just going to go out of business. And I don't know what tool you use. For those of you who use ClickUp, imagine if I came to you today and was like, hey, look, we are cutting ClickUp today. I know it can't happen to you. We just talked about it. Can't happen, right? Your whole life isn't there. What's going to happen? So Productive did that. They said, hey, look, I'm sorry, we're shutting down and we're building no export for you. All your work, everything you've done, all your documents, they're going to be gone in 1 week. And everyone is freaking out in this Facebook group. And so I look at our CTO and he looks at me, he's like, I think I can build the export. I think I can save these people, right? So we're staying up all night eating whatever random Chinese food or whatever we could order. And we're watching this guy, our CTO, Alex Sherkowski, just build, just code. I'm not the coder. I'm the talker. So I'm just hyping him up. Like, hey, man, let's get this done because I want to go in this Facebook group and let them know we're going to save the day. You got to get this done. So eventually at the 11th hour, right, like maybe 2 days before, he gets it done. And I'm like, wow, I really get to go in and I really get to save the day for these people. That's being scrappy because immediately when I came in that Facebook group and I said, hey, here's an export, all you have to do is click these few tools and now all your work is in a brand new tool, ClickUp, and we're better than them anyway. So happy Merry Christmas. You know, life's even better. This isn't even a bad thing anymore. Everyone loved us. Absolutely they loved us. We just saved the day for them. We didn't have to do that. But of course, it looked way better for us. Now all of a sudden we've more than 10x our companies, more than 10x the customers that we have. They were a big company. They've been around a while. So all of a sudden I got to hire customer service reps. I got to hire, CSMs. I got to really get on board with that. But that really changed the game for ClickUp. So it's 2 moves that you can think in your business being scrappy. Pay attention to the competition, look at everything that's going on, and just be a step ahead. Be moving faster. Wake up hungry. Wake up on a mission. The second thing I'll tell you is you really need to obsess over your customers. Talk to them all the time, but don't bother them. Come to help them. Come to add value to them. When you get 1 customer, when you get 2 customers, talk to them. Talk to them every single week, but you're not just trying to help them in your business. You're also trying to learn from them, right? Because you go through them, like Joe said, everyone here has a problem, right? Everyone here has something they hate doing. But guess what? There's things that we can do for them. So figure out what they hate doing. There's probably something else for your customers that they hate doing that you can build for them, right? You have all the tools here. You have Francis, you have Brian. They will help you find out how to build. With AI, you can build almost anything now. The key now is finding the problems. You should be obsessed with finding problems because you get paid by the problems you solve. The bigger problems you solve, the more you get paid. It's really not that complex. But you're not going to find out about the problems unless you're talking to your users daily. Find out about your onboarding. Why is it not as good? Find out about where you can help them better. Anytime you're talking to them, not daily, not quarterly, I'm talking daily. And the other thing you need to do is you need to send them quick surveys. Sometimes you can't talk to all of them. Once you get a few more clients, just send them something just like this. Not 10 questions, not 20 questions. They don't have time, right? Think about when you receive something, if it's short and valuable and they're like, hey, look, this is just a personal message from me. It's Chris. I want to know how to help you better. Answer these 2 questions. Just answer 2 questions. You're going to do it almost every time. Our response rate was crazy on those. So we learned rather than doing 100 different surveys or 10 different ones, we would just do it once every 2 weeks, 1 month, just check in. Hey, would it be better if we did this or that? And we would narrow it down to what was the most important question we could ask. Because you could ask them hundreds of questions, right? But at the end of the day, people only have so much time. So nail that in, obsess over your customers. And the last thing I'll tell you is actually quite simple, but it's insanely important. You need to plan out your day every single day. When we were building ClickUp, the only way we were able to go fight these giants is because we were very intentional with our time. Time is all you have. Time is what's valuable. I don't care about money. I care about time. I'll give up all my money for more time, right? Use your time insanely wisely. Most of us wake up and we're just reactive, right? Most of us just wake up and we're like, oh, I got to respond to this email and I got to send this and I got to do that. You get to do all these things, right? But if you're smart and if you wake up and what I do every morning when I wake up, still to this day, for us, we had 5 a.m. stand-ups Monday through Friday, and then we had 7:30 on Saturday and Sunday. We worked 7 days a week. How else do you think we caught up with these billion-dollar companies, right? It's just 4 of us. We work 7 days a week. I'm not telling you to do that. You don't have to now with automation. But what I am telling you to do is you should wake up, and you should know exactly what you're working on. You should look at all the 20 things you can do. You should write them down and say, okay, this one is going to move forward my business the most. This one I can automate or I can delegate, right? For everything you have, you should always look at your task list every day and you should attack it. Act like you're the captain, you're the chief, right? Attack the workday and say, okay, this one I'm going to delegate. This one my VA is going to do. This one my coworker's better at. They're going to do that. This is what I'm good at. I'm going to do this. This is the one thing that'll make my business make more money today. That's what I need to do. If you don't know what those things are and you're just being reactive, you're going to lose to someone who's not, right? Or you're just not going to move as fast as you could. There's no reason not to take your time and plan out your day. That's the real move there. Now, the other way we did this was, it's not just being scrappy, right? It was tools for us back then. Now it's systems. Everything is about systems. For everything we do, for everything that works, for everything that is successful, as soon as we try something, you need to be trying new things every single day. As soon as I try something and it's successful, I'm building a system for it, right? Right now, I get millions of views off our social media. I know exactly how to do it. It's a system. You can think social media is just luck and picking up a phone. It's not. It's about 70% science. 30% of it is being funny or being unique or understanding scripting, but 70% of it is just a science. You test everything, just like everything good in work, just like everything good in marketing. The main thing you need to know about marketing is you need to test everything. You don't know what brings you customers until you try it. You have no idea. I can look at your business, I can sit and think and take a guess, but I don't know until I try. Of our #1 channels right now, I wasn't 100% sure, but I tried it. And then I see the data and then I double down on it, right? So whether that be email marketing, whether that be social media, whether that be just picking up the phone and calling, whether that be newsletters, there's only but so many things you can try in marketing, right? And at the end, if you need help, I'll show you what those are. But you need to be trying each of those and see what works for you. Your business is different than mine. The person to the right of you is business different than you. So figure out what that is, test everything. These are the systems you need in place now, right? We're so lucky. It's almost so easy now. You can have a tool like ClickUp, and I'm not asking anyone to definitely use ClickUp. If you want to use Asana, but use something. Use something to have project management. Use something so you can see how your business is moving. Use something so you understand every single task is moving in your business. Because if not, how are you supposed to move as fast? Zapier allows you to automate, right? If you have questions with that, you hit up Joe. He'll show you how to automate your whole business. He says 90 days, probably even less. That guy knows what he's doing. So then you bring in OpenAI, make sure you use some of the other tools as well. Claude, we'll get into that. But this is the real thing. So how do you think we did it? It's systems. But the big problem is we have AI. But the problem I see everyone make is they think AI is just some magic wand like this. They think AI is just going to do everything for them. And it does do a lot. But you shouldn't look at AI that way. You should look at AI as something that allows you to do the monotonous work or allows AI to do the monotonous work so you can be creative. Because I think too many people try to use AI to be creative. And that's a problem. It's not creative. Not one video script I've ever made that goes viral on my social media came from AI. It comes from my brain, right? But now I might get some ideas from AI. But the problem is most people are just trying to ride AI and that's how they think it's going to work. The second thing is when you leave here, you're going to know how to use AI properly, right? You probably already do. I don't know how advanced all you guys are. I'm sure you've learned prompting. If you're not, I'm sure they have resources for you. But most people aren't learning how to prompt. They're not learning how to come in and say the framework. Okay, GPT, you are X, right? You are a marketer, just like Chris Cunningham has been doing it for 15 years. You've had X amount of success. This is the goal we're going to do. Before anything you do, you should do that. And then the other advantages you can do is you can really talk to GPT. You can say, okay, you're going to ask me a series of questions to help me get to this answer. That's how I get a lot more out of GPT. But a lot of the tools are already here for that, so you'll get ahead there. Now, here's what I'm going to slide into. Now you're trying to get business. You want someone to buy from you, right? And everyone thinks it works like this. Oh, I'm just going to make content. I'm just going to make a lot of content. That's what they do. They go scale content. They go post. They go create 20 videos and they put it out. But there's no purpose behind it. There's no reason behind it. And that's a big problem. You know why? Because you need authority. You've got to have authority. Winners scale authority. The reason why people buy ClickUp is because they know that we know what we're talking about. And the reason why I know what I'm talking about is because I've talked to my customers 100,000 times. Every single week, I set calls with my customers. Every single week, even though we're as big as we are now, with 1,400 employees, started with 4, right? Every single week, I'm still talking to my customers because I'm not only asking them about business, I'm asking them, what do you listen to? What podcast do you like? What social media do you enjoy? What do you learn from? What's a book that you read that helped you? What is something you learned in the past few weeks that made you better at your job? Why am I asking that? Because that's the content I'm making. That makes me authoritative, right? If I'm making content every single day that's helping you be better at your job, that's helping you learn more, that's helping you make more money, of course you're going to listen to me much more. And when it comes time to buy, you're definitely going to think of me when it comes time to buy. I'm a thought leader to you. I've been teaching you for the past 2 months on social media. Why would you not buy from me? That is what you got to realize. So I'm not saying everyone here has to turn into something tonight, but I'm saying think about what you work on. Think about how you build your authority, because who do you buy from? You buy from the people you learn from the most. That's who you trust. So if you're wondering how am I going to do this, it's not as hard as you think. It's really not as hard as you think. Brad talked about it earlier, right? Find your vibe. I'm going to tell you right now, find your positioning. It's the same thing. We're on the same narrative. You need to find your voice and you need to own your angle. What is your voice, right? Think about the problem. The way most people get really successful in business is they go down to the problem and then they find their own term for how to beat it, right? Some people use go-to-market bloat. Some people use any kind of different term. It's something that you can own, because you could fight and try to win an SEO. You could do that, or you can make up your own term that you own the SEO that describes your business and your problem. So think about what that is for you. Think about your business. And I think, like Joe said, think of a way to describe it in 4 or 5 words, and then find a way to do it in 2 words and make that word your thing. Make that your business. Make that term, whatever it may be. I don't know what everyone does here, but make that term your business. Then from there, you need to take your ideas and turn them into assets, right? And what I mean by assets are, these could be visuals, these could be tools. Why do you think every single one of us who get up here have something to give you afterwards, right? Again, it's authoritative. That's why we give you these QR codes. What are you giving? What are you giving out, right? You need to be giving out something that's valuable. Think of something that you can build that's valuable to your customers. It's one of the best things you can do. That's production. And you can turn to assets. You can turn to videos. You can turn to written blogs. You can turn to LinkedIn posts. You can turn to X posts. You can turn whatever you want. But you need to be taking your voice and then producting it, because then from there, you're going to put it out to the world. And the beauty is you have a whole step. I didn't have 7 years ago when I was doing this. You have AI. You have AI to automate this whole thing. So that's the framework right there. But the reason why you need that framework is people trust people, right? At the end of the day, there's a reason why we're all here. We love these inhuman events. And I love to know who I'm buying from, right? Like when I work with someone who I know who they are. Someone I've met, someone I can trust, someone I've shaken their hand before. That's what it is. And even if I haven't shaken their hand, if I've seen them on social media, if I've seen them online, if I've seen them speak on stage, I feel like I know them, right? This is our CEO just wearing a ClickUp jacket. Whenever we speak, we're usually always repping as much as we can, get as much branding as we can. But authority is built through consistency, right? And now you can be consistent. You can be consistent with your message because AI allows you to do that. And that's what I'm going to show you in the next few steps. But if you really want authority, if you really, really want authority, you want to be the expert, you need to stop hiding behind all these docs, right? Stop hiding behind your work. Stop hiding behind your client docs, your presentations, whatever. You need to get out there in the world. You need to show your work. And I know it's scary. I know it's not the easiest thing to do, but you need to show your work. And what I mean by that is you kind of need to become an influencer. You kind of need to start creating content. You need to put it out there. Again, think about it. Oh, well, there's so many excuses for this. I've heard so many excuses, but look, this is Roberto Nixon. He has tons of followers. He can start a business tomorrow with whatever he wanted because people listen to him every single day. It's so easy. So if you build that first, it is so much easier to get clients. And I know you're going to have excuses, right? I've heard every single excuse. There's so many excuses, right? What if I hurt my brand? What if I hurt my brand? You are the brand. You are the brand. If you're starting a business, you are the brand. You're not going to hurt your brand. So I don't want to hear that anymore. What if I say something wrong? Or, what if I'm not good at it? No one's good at anything. No one's good at anything until they start moving. I wasn't good at marketing when I came out of college. I had no idea what I was doing. I faked it a lot. Same with sales. I had no idea what I was doing, but you just start doing the thing. So I don't want to hear any of these excuses about that. You have to start trying, because think about it. Even if only 300, 400 people, you get 300 or 400 views per post. Look at this. I'm so stoked to speak here today in front of 600 people. I think it's amazing. I get a chance to do that every day by posting on social. That's why I post every single day. I don't care if I get 50 views. If it's the right views, I got the right message, I will get clients from it. So if you're afraid of doing video, you can do written, but you got to start being an influencer in some type of way. You got to start building authority. You got to start making content. If you're not going to do it, you need someone to do it for you. You need to find someone to do it for your business, because how else are people going to see you, right? I don't have my phone on me. I leave it when I'm speaking, but the phones or the computers are where they're going to find you, right? So if you're not on there, you're just missing on a big opportunity. There's no reason not to do it. And the last excuse I hear all the time is, I don't have any time. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you right now. Is there anyone who wants to come up here on stage, or I can come down to you? I want someone... You didn't waste no time. I love that. Come on up. I'm going to show you how easy this is. I'm going to show you how easy it is to create content. Let me get my beautiful girlfriend, Caro. Can you come up here? How you doing? I love the hat. I love the style.
Pleasure to
What's your name? Pleasure.
Houston.
Kat Houston, thank you so much. I'm going to give you this little mic. All I'm going to do is ask you a few questions, all right? Is that cool?
That's
awesome. Put it right here.
You go for it.
I'm stoked. You raise your hand so fast.
I know it. I love this.
Do you?
I'm so bought in. This is the most amazing thing.
I love this stuff, right?
I know. Change your life.
All right. So what I'm going to do is, or you can give her the mic too. Let's double it up.
All right.
I'm just going to ask you some questions, right?
All right.
All I'm going to do, what's your name?
Kat Houston.
Okay. You got a lot of great energy. You got a lot of great swag. What is your business?
Shift changers.
Okay. Tell me about shift changing.
We take personality assessments and we change personalities one mind at a time.
Amazing. And then what do they get when they do this?
When they do this, they learn how to speak to others to make their businesses more efficient in the long run, and learn how to learn about themselves so that they make better decisions when they communicate.
Incredible. Something I need to do right now. Love that. Love that. Give it up. Now, another question. Who is your ideal client? Who out here should be looking for you?
Every single one of you.
Ooh. But what makes an ideal client for you? Just anyone in general? Like,
anyone that wants to know how they think and how to move others to think like they think or don't think, to make their business move forward, to create more money. You have to build your teams, and your teams have to know how to communicate with one another.
That's incredible. Now, in your industry, what is one thing you see coming? What is one thing that you've seen improve people's businesses that most people won't know about?
Our business holds you accountable for your learning over time. You go to classes, you learn all about this, you leave, you go home and sleep, and then you get back into life. Shift Changers provides the opportunities each month for you to meet measurable goals over time in order to keep going, so that you don't misplace everything that you want to change your mind. Changing your mind one personality at a time.
See how easy it was for her? We got content. We got 3 videos right there. Kat Houston, Shift Changers, everybody. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Let me get this mic from you too.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Wow. Go Kat. I didn't realize that energy was going to be like that up here. But so for everyone who says, I don't have time to make content, I got 3, maybe 4 videos of her that maybe took 90 seconds, right? I got your mic right there. Took maybe 90 seconds. You do have time to make content. You do have time. And if you don't want to just shoot a video, if you don't want to be on camera, that's fine. Take a walk. Do voice notes. That's how most of my content is. I post on LinkedIn almost every single day. All I do is I take a walk and I talk. And I almost keep it, it's like a video or like an audio journal for me, but it allows me to get my thoughts out. I like to write and I journal as well, but I really like to just walk and then talk about something. I think about my business. I think about a problem I solve. I think about my customers. That's what I do. But what you understand is you already have everything you need. You have everything you need to make content. Your experience is the content. What you do every day is the content, because there's something you're doing that someone else needs to learn from. I don't care where you're at in life. I can learn from everyone in here, right? And I want to. That's why I consume content. But I try to consume the right content that teaches me. I'm not here watching the dances and stuff like that. I want to learn because, again, my time is limited. I spend most of my time trying to learn. I use audiobooks. I do podcasts. I am trying to learn, but I also like learning from real people. I want to learn from real problems, real things people are going through, because they know things about my business I don't. Everyone spends the time somewhere else. We all don't have time. We can't buy time back, but you can buy experience. You can buy expertise. You can do it by buying a book. You can do it by listening to a video. You can do it by listening to a podcast. That is what we do. So I want you to understand you have everything you need to make content. Your content is the journey. And that's something you have to show, because that is knowledge. And if you don't believe me, here's me chilling with Gary Vee, right? Gary Vee is the king of this. Think back to him. No one knew Gary Vee just like 15 years ago. He was just a guy talking about wine, right? He talked about what he loved. He talked about wine. He made videos over and over and over. And no one cared for maybe 5, 6, maybe even 7 years, I think it was. No one cared about Gary. But Gary started owning the narrative. Every day he spoke about what was happening. He has a whole formula, right? And I break the formula down for you. I've talked to him. I've learned his formula, and it's actually quite simple. What he's doing is every day he's obsessing over his product. He's obsessing over what he builds. He's obsessed. It's all he thinks about, right? And instead of just taking that knowledge he gains and keeping it in, he pays someone to follow him around all the time. He pays this guy D-Rock, who is with him and just holds the camera at all times. So anytime he's on, he can film. It's a little too much of the life for me, but I still schedule my time and I take those thoughts. And sometimes I put it in a voice note and I put it out later. Or sometimes I just put my phone up and start talking. I have a little tripod, I put it up and start talking. Or maybe it's when I'm doing a call or when I'm doing a speech. I have someone filming. They're filming this now. I have tons of content from this, right? The more I'm putting out there, the more people are going to see me. And if you want help doing this, you can take prompts. I'll give you guys prompts afterwards. You can have prompts and just say, okay, ask me these questions. And just like I asked her questions earlier, Kat, you can answer them. And that's all you got to do. Ask GPT, ask Claude for some questions, answer them, and then start talking. But there's a way you can step it further, right? But what I want you to, I'm sure you're questioning, does this really work? Like, will content really help my business? I know it will. I know it will 100%, because when we were growing and we had no idea what we were doing, I built ClickUp's authority. We went to 1 million followers in less than 18 months, right? That's a massive following. That brings us leads every single day. And I've now found ways to turn that into a content motion for me. Like with AI, I can now see who follows my page, right? Even if it's Instagram, I can still pull exactly who they are, their job title, and I have a motion for that. So I have my sales team. Like, I don't know if you've seen ClickUp social media, but it's quite funny. It's like we have these HR guys, they dance, they do ridiculous stuff, they bring back nostalgic songs. I'm not even trying to oversell you on that page. I'm just trying to get your attention. On my LinkedIn is where I go a little deeper. But when people follow me, I have this page called ClickUp Comedy. I have ClickUp Man on the Street. I have many different pages. I can see if I know that the COO of McDonald's follows ClickUp, right? So of course I'm going to turn that into a way to get in touch with him. So I take my actors who I use to make my content and I send them a video, and then I get in touch, and then I get my sales team in. So I'm not saying go that far, but pay attention to who follows you and start building authority. You don't need 1 million followers. You don't need that at all. On my own personal, I'm not even close to there yet, but I still get people who book me for consulting, for speaking all the time, because every day I'm putting out content and I'm doing it consistently. So if you want to know how to do this, I'll give you a flywheel. Right? This is what I call the exec content flywheel. There's really 6 types of authority content. The first one is visionaries, right? Everybody wants to know what's coming next. You came here because you want to know what's coming next in AI. Everyone wants to know what's coming next. You should be that person telling them what's coming next in your field, in your space. You have ideas, you have thoughts. That's why I asked her, what's coming next? What's coming up? That's what people want to know. They want to be ahead. And I'll give you a secret. You might be wrong sometimes. No one remembers if you're wrong. But if you're right, you got receipts. You can go back and say, hey, look, I posted this in 2010. I told y'all this is going to happen. Here it is. And I've done that. I told everyone, hey, in the future, people are going to start hiring content creators for their business so they can get more attention, because things are moving off of TV commercials. And this is coming from a guy who bought a Super Bowl commercial, right? I've paid $7 million for a Super Bowl commercial. I know what that was like. But now I'm seeing him move to the phones. I'm seeing him move to social media. So I'm investing my money there. I'm getting creators and I'm getting good myself being on that. The next one is an industry POV, right? This is your point of view. Cut through the noise. Everyone's always talking about what's happening. There's always some type of news thing that's happening, right? The tariffs happen or this happened. Talk about how it affects your business. Talk about how it affects your space. Talk about how it affects your customers. That's what they want to hear. What's going on in the world? How's it going to affect me? We care about ourselves, right? How's it going to affect them? Talk to them about that. The next one's proof points. Everyone likes to see proof, right? People don't want claims. They want evidence. They want to know exactly what's going on. So bring up a customer. Talk to one of your customers. Show them how they've had an amazing experience with you. That makes you feel safe, right? This is a real person just like me. So build your proof points. The next thing is behind the scenes, right? People want to buy from what they see. They want to feel real. So put the behind the scenes. I show myself working. I show myself traveling. I show where I live. I show all that, right? I'm not here to brag. I don't care about that. I'm just showing my day-to-day because people trust me more. They see how I live. They see how I move. They see what I'm doing. They see I'm giving back as much as I can. They see I'm trying to help. So they want to buy from me more. Network spotlight. This is a really cool one. Talk about what's going on in your network. Talk about cool people you work with, right? I love to bring up Joe that I work with on Smart Click. I love to bring up Zeb, the founder of ClickUp, right? This is my network. This is people I talk about all the time. I love them. I care about them. And I'm highlighting other people. I'm helping them out. They're going to do the same back for me. And then the last one is leadership stories. Every single day you go through something as a leader that someone else might be looking towards. Even though you might say, hey, I'm only this far in business, there's people who are still way behind you. There's people who are still trying to learn. They're still trying to learn how to fire their first person. They're still trying to learn how to send email campaigns. They're still trying to learn a lot of things that you do. Everyone is at different stages, and you don't realize how helpful your story can be. So make sure you're telling those stories. Don't gatekeep them. Don't hide them. People want to know. Now, this is my production stack. So I'm sure you want the tools. I'm sure you want all the tools to do this easy. The first two are just GPT and Claude. Learn GPT and Claude. They're amazing. But the one you probably haven't heard of is Highlight AI. I highly recommend Highlight AI because one, it's free. You can, if you don't want to pay for the GPT, Claude, DeepSeek, everything else, Anthropic, Highlight puts them all in one place. And it's basically a VA for you. So with Highlight, you can have a VA that's sitting while you work. While you're writing, it can help you script, make it better. While you're watching a podcast, it can take notes for you, right? Anything you want to do, you can talk to this tool. So you can be working and say, hey, tell me about the notes when I spoke to John 2 weeks ago. It's an amazing tool. I like to also use it for scripting. So as I get my ideas, I don't really like to script so much with GPT. I like to sometimes pull Highlight in to help me script, or as I'm going along the way, it's kind of like a new version of Grammarly. It'll fix your spelling, everything as you're going, make it more striking, everything like that. So I script in another tool, but then I record in Descript. Descript AI, it's like $19 a month. And the reason being is with Descript, I'm already my own editor. So as I record in Descript, I can do it on my phone. I can do it on a nice camera if I want, but I don't have to worry about taking the footage and pulling it off the camera, pulling it to there. It's already inside of Descript. They save it for you. You can take a link. You can send it off. It makes it super easy. But the best part is you can edit it yourself. So all you got to do is if you have if you have a mistake, anything you do wrong, you just delete it. It's super simple. So I highly recommend Descript. And then for editing, if you really want to use AI tools to edit, there's plenty you can do. Opus is probably the best one I've seen at like just taking a long podcast or something like this and clipping it into pretty good scenes. So you can take one video, you can shoot, and you can chop it up. You also have CapCut. CapCut's really catching up on their AI. And then there's captions. And the last thing I'll tell you too that's really, really valuable about captions, let's say that you're like, Chris, I'm never going to make content. I don't care what you say. That's perfectly fine because we have AI now. You can literally build your own avatar that either looks like you or doesn't look like you. You can rent your own avatar with Captions AI and you can have them create ads for you. You can have them create things. Captions AI, I think, is like $30 a month, right? How good is that for $30 a month to have something creating content for you every single day? It can be on your website. It can be ads you're sending out. It can be social media videos, and you can pump them out. So I highly recommend you definitely look at this stack because, again, if you're not going to make content, if you're not going to create it yourself, start creating it still. Build that character, build that person. You can do it with AI. I wish I could do this 10 years ago. I would have been pumping out content. So here's your content rhythm. So if you're telling me I don't know where to start, I don't know how to make content, I know it's a little small, I can send it to you afterwards if you need, but just like I told you the main ways to make content. Monday, you have your industry POV. So Monday, I'm just going to say this is what I think is going on in the world. Like usually I check on the news. With ChatGPT, you can set reminders, right? Every single day I set a reminder for it to remind me in the morning what's going on in social media, what's going on in B2B. Tell me all the top stories. I read them, I consolidate them, I make my own piece of content about it because not everyone's going to set the reminders like me. So I make that content and I say, okay, these are the 5 big things that I think are important. Here's my take. Here's what I think how it's going to affect you in the world of B2B. Here's how I think it's going to affect social media, right? These are things I'm an expert in, but I build myself to be an expert because I take the time to be an expert. I take the time to learn. I get the notifications and it doesn't take that long. Tuesday, visionary forecasting. You can use Midjourney if you want and create a different video showing what you think is going to happen. But you know what's going to happen. You spend your time every single day learning something. You spend your time getting better at something. You're an expert at something. Put your take on that. People want to see what's happening in the future. Make a bet. Make a bet. And people love it when you're right. And they also just look at you with thought leader because at least you're trying, at least you're thinking ahead. You're being thought-provoking. Wednesday, you can do a story post, right? You can come in and say, okay, this was happening in my business. Maybe it's a carousel. Maybe it's a voting thing. Just get involved. Get people talking to you. Thursday, client win, partner win. Go through and talk about some kind of win you've had with someone in your business. People want to see wins. They want to see good things happening. Friday, you can do some data or you can do a proof post, right? People love data. They love stats. And the beauty is I'm pretty sure like 98% of stats are made up, but if you make it sound good, they'll listen. But now you can pull the data from GPT and you can have real sources as well, so you don't have to lie. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to really, really think and sit back and think, what are the things you hate doing, right? What are the things that you're doing every day that you shouldn't be doing? Like, what do you wake up and you're like, man, this is not, I could be closing deals. Like, what are the things you're doing that are not moving your business forward that somebody else can do? And then you can use SmartClick, right? You can hit up Joe. You can find a way to do things through Zapier, through OpenAI, through ClickUp, but don't just automate one task, right? I think that's the problem. Most people stop at just content, but if you really want to scale, this is what things should look like. On the left is how most of you probably are. You probably have one automation set up here and there. You should have your entire business automated. You should have every single tool you work with talking to each other. You should have every single tool you work with going back and forth, understanding your business, doing those things. That does take time. That does take a lot of work. So if you need, you can go to automate your business. I think it's automate90.com for Joe. But just hit us up. We're pretty available. With SmartClick, you can go through and really automate everything. So that way you can focus on making the content. You can focus on taking the sales calls. My marketing stack, it's actually quite simple. I left one off. I do like Instantly. Instantly, I'll send that out as well. Instantly AI for email marketing. But Zapier is a tool. I'm biased. I like ClickUp for project management. You don't have to use ClickUp. Use something. We are free. But OpenAI is still my main one. I do like Claude for writing, though. Claude seems to write better. GPT does learn you, but make sure you're using the project section. Don't just keep starting new chats. Build a project. And when you do that, let's say you want it to write for you. When you build that project, you can take every single podcast you've done, every single voice note you put in your phone, every single blog post you've written, and then you can train the AI to speak so similar to you. So this is my tech stack there. What I think we did right. I really want to break down how we scaled and what we did differently without spending millions. Because at the beginning of our time, we weren't spending a ton. I think it's first that we had a voice. We knew exactly who we wanted to be, right? We were quirky. We were funny. We believed in ourselves. We were kind of the David versus Goliath. We were fighting giants and we weren't quiet about it. And we weren't afraid to be shy about it. So find your voice in your space. Who are you in your space? For us, it was these funny, goofy people, but you could take serious because we knew our shit, right? That was us. We know our stuff, but we don't take ourselves too serious. We're not these weird companies who you're never going to hear from, who overly think, who are super uptight. That's not us, right? Then we had systems for everything we did. So when we got new clients, when we had an SEO play that worked, we tripled down on it, right? We found a way to scale it. Once we got a little bit of dollars and a few clients who found us from that, we reinvested that money right back into getting better and better at SEO. So find the things that work for you. Be relentless about it. Like anytime you find one thing that brings one customer, just be relentless. Build it. Find a system, use AI where you can, keep going, and then scale. Then start thinking bigger. Okay, this worked to get one client. How do we get it to 100 clients? What does that look like? It sounds like very minuscule, but the more you're saying that to yourself, the more you're putting that in your brain always connects the dots, right? But you got to put the picture there that it wants to connect. So I think that's what ClickUp did right. We built a lot of machines, and everything we do today, we still build machines. We call it systems, machines, but anytime something works, we build it, we ensure it does better, and then we go build it for other people. But what the beauty of today is now, on the content side, with AI, you can almost do everything, right? AI can really write. I recommend you still writing your own content. I really do, but you can use AI to write if you need to pump it out, if you need to be quick, if you need to get something out. But I do recommend using Claude for that. But then one operator, right? This is your business. So you just see one person doing it, one person behind it. And if you don't want to be the person making content, you can still make an AI avatar. That's the beauty of it. And then one editor. Again, it used to be you had to hire all of these things. Now you can do it all through AI, through tools that are not very expensive. So the stacks are easier than ever. And the future of marketing really is different. A lot of people are looking for real execs and they're looking for real systems. So as you build these systems, or as you work with a team like SmartClick and build these systems, talk about it. Don't gatekeep it. Talk about it. Put it out there. Share it. Most people are not going to take the time to rebuild what you build anyway. They're going to want to pay you to do it, right? Because their time is better spent somewhere else. So I'm going to show you some real execs. This is Tyler Denique. Have you guys heard of Beehive? Beehive is one of the top platforms. People heard of Beehive? Beehive's awesome, right? But do you know how it came about? Tyler used to work at a newsletter, one of the most successful newsletters. He decided, I'm going to build a system because I see how this works. I see the problems, right? Just like you are now. You see a problem in your business. But what Tyler did really well is he posted everything about it. He posted everything about fighting with ConvertKit, his big competitor. He posted every single piece of thing that was going on, every single win and every single loss. You got to be afraid. You cannot be afraid to share your losses. Share them too. People love to see it. It's vulnerable. You're going to lose. We all lose. I'm not afraid to share my failures, right? It makes me human. It makes me normal. But he announced every single part. Their Series A, when their business went up, but he also announced when they went down. And now he brings in, I think it's around 300K a month. No, he has 300K followers. 2 million in pipeline has come from his social media. That's a lot. Then you look at Sam Jacobs. Sam Jacobs is a dear friend of mine from Pavilion. He built this community, right? He built a community just like the one you're in here now because he knew that business execs need help. And so every time someone in his community wins, he amplifies it, right? That's exactly what I was talking about, network spotlight. He's not talking about himself that much. He's talking about people in his community when they win. Do the same. When your customers win, talk about them. When your friends win, talk about them. When you win, talk about it. That's success. That's what it looks like. And now his followers bring in 70% of their business. That's insane. The last one is David Gearhart. David Gearhart really talks about everything going on. He talks about tools he's using. He dives into every single part, and he gives out frameworks. He's really good at giving out frameworks. You don't realize how many frameworks you build every single day. Every single day, you guys build something that's really cool that you don't even think anything about, that you don't even share, that you don't even give away. And that's where you should be getting your lead magnets. These lead magnets are awesome. It's how you get people involved. You give them a little something free. It's the tails of end of time, right? Everyone's done this method. You give someone free, they start trusting you a little more, give them a little more work, get them on a call, close the deal. That's the game. But if you don't know what that is, take some time. We're happy to reach out to help, but find out what those things are to you. Find out what your lead magnet is. Find a way to give out to the community so people can come back in and want to work with you. Once you start this small for your content side, it's really not that hard. You set up your prompts. I'll send them to you. I'll give you a thing where you can message me. But you set up prompts to start asking the right questions, to start doing the right interviews, right? Eventually, within 4 weeks, something will do well. I'm not saying you're going to go viral, meaning you're going to get hundreds of millions of views, but something will get more. You know, you'll have every video will get 200 views, 100 views, or 5 likes or 8 likes, but something will get more. Something will get 40 likes. Something will do, 1,000 views rather than 200. That is your signal. Double down, triple down. That's what you need to be working on. That's the content you need to be putting out. You found a signal. So look for the signals, test, put it out, and then you're going to have predictable lead flow. Once you get that one lead, once that one piece of content brings you a good lead that you close business from, double down on that. Redo it. Because you don't realize how big the internet is. You don't realize how big this world is, right? So you keep creating, and once you find something that works, you keep moving. It's the hidden go-to-market advantage that so many execs are using, and it drives me crazy because it doesn't take that much time, and it brings a lot of business. But I know I've hit you all with a lot. I know I've hit you a lot. If you need any help, I'm not here to give you some lead bag. I don't want to do that today. Just find me. Just connect with me if I can help you in any way. I'm not hard to find. I'm Chris Cunningham from ClickUp. I do this all the time. I love everything about business. I love everything about watching you win. I love everything about helping people.
That's a wrap for this episode of the AI for Business podcast. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit subscribe and pass it along to a friend or colleague. We appreciate you being here, and we'll catch you in the next one.